Oh, you want to hear a joke? Okay. I've got one. Oh, you want to hear a joke about I-35?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I'm still working on it. Hi, my name is Lawrence Boone, and I live in Austin, Texas. I'm a writer and an event producer. So I publish articles on the Austin music scene. I book shows, create events and festivals. Been doing that for about the past 10 years now. For a long time, I was the editor of Do 512, which is a local events and entertainment company. I graduated from the University of Texas, and after I did that, I started one of Austin's first music blogs. I am a C4, C5 quadriplegic. I was injured in a diving accident when I was 17. I broke my neck diving in a pool that was a little bit too shallow. After that, I was in intensive care for a couple of weeks. And then moving on from that, I was in rehab for about 2 months. And then after my last day of rehab, it coincided with my first day of my senior year of high school. So it was, all right, you're out of the hospital, go back to school. So the doctor was like, maybe you should wait. And I was like, no, I'm good, I'll go back to school. So I started my senior year on time, which led me to be able to graduate on time with the rest of my class, which was a really good thing because I went to junior college and I spent a couple of years doing that, keeping my grades up. And because I was able to do that, I applied to UT and they said yes, which was a blessing. So I moved to Austin, started going to school at UT, and that really opened my eyes to a lot of things. Austin's a really cool town, there's a lot going on. The University of Texas is a great school. You know, I learned a lot in a very, very short amount of time. Once I moved to Austin and started going to UT, I started going out, seeing shows and getting involved in the music and arts scene in Austin. And then writing and promoting bands and street team stuff. And then that moved to creating events. My first event was to book bands and create a benefit concert for an organization that helps kids with disabilities. And once I got my feet wet with that, I really loved the work. I loved bringing people together. And the fact that it was a benefit to help kids with disabilities was something that obviously was interesting to me. So did my first show, it was a success. And I was like, cool, I can see myself doing that. And then, you know, that just lit a fire to go forward, you know, being a event producer, marketer, writer, helping kind of fuel the arts and music scene in Austin. Once I graduated from UT, I kept writing, booking bands, started one of Austin's first music blogs, which was called Covert Curiosity. And that experience led me to be hired as the first managing editor of Do 512. And I did that for the better part of 10 years, helping bands, you know, find a bigger voice and a bigger audience, publishing articles about Austin, interviewing bands, booking shows, creating events, creating festivals. So that little experience of creating a benefit concert led to a career in the music scene. When I had my spinal cord injury, you know, everything stopped. It was a pretty traumatic experience. You go from being a star athlete, playing all the sports, being very active, to being confined to a hospital bed, you know, almost 24 hours a day for a couple of weeks. So you kind of have to get your mind wrapped around, okay, this is different, but how do I get better? How do I, you know, how do I move forward? And with that, it's a slow progress, but when you go from being able to use everything to not being able to use anything, you can see the little progresses you make every day. You know, I couldn't move my arms, couldn't breathe on my own. I was on a ventilator, you know, couldn't feed myself, couldn't do, you know, daily routine that you sort of take for granted. So I would set little benchmarks and watch myself kind of achieve those on a slow progress, like 1 week, get off the ventilator. Great, now that you're off the ventilator, get out of the bed. Great, now that you're out of the bed, learn how to use your arms and learn how to, do little things in life that you sort of take for granted. But that whole time you could see the progress happening day by day, which eventually led to me being able to go back to school, being able to graduate, being able to go to college, being able to go to UT, being able to move to Austin, starting a career, and being successful at it. And you don't really see that often. So a lot of people tell me my story is inspirational because they see me and they're like, man, if he can do that, I should be able to accomplish whatever I want. Just being able to overcome obstacles and continue to move forward in life, even though there was a roadblock, placed in front of me. So, but if I hadn't continued to have that mindset of, all right, this happened, fight through it, keep going, keep going, keep going, I wouldn't have, be the man that I am today. So, having the mindset of just take this challenge and just keep going. Don't know where it's going to go, but keep fighting, keep moving, keep going. And the more you do that, the more you figure out things and the better you get. And I regained my strength and was able to live a very, full life. And even today, I helped build this company from scratch. That's sort of a metaphor for my life, really. We started this thing from the ground up, Do 512 I'm speaking on. And when it first started, no one knew what it was, and it was a very small audience. But, we built it brick by brick, and just kept pushing forward. And now it's a successful company. It's a model that's been launched in more than 20 cities in North America. So I'm very proud of the work that I helped accomplish, but without having that mindset of just keep moving, just keep going, not knowing what the end goal would be, has been very rewarding because I've been able to live my life and move forward and, become a new person. And even now in my professional career, I thought I did that for 10 years and I was like, all right, I feel like I've accomplished this goal. So let's move on to the next one. Let's see what else I can do. And that's kind of where I'm at in my career is I did this thing, I saw it through. It's, went out on top. Great. Next project, let's go. It may sound cliche, but without having that mindset of just keep moving forward, I wouldn't have been able to graduate high school. I wouldn't have been able to move to Austin. I wouldn't have been able to go to college. I wouldn't have been able to start my career. So when my friend Conrad was like, hey, would you mind telling your story for this video thing? It's about forward motion. I was like, no, I wouldn't mind. I mean, it makes perfect sense. It goes along with my whole mindset, which was, all right, you had this crazy traumatic thing happen. How are you going to respond to it? Are you just going to lay there in bed, and wallow in paralysis? Or are you going to take that and be like, nope, you're not going to stop me. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to fight, and I'm going to get every ounce of life I can, whether that's able-bodied or whether that's, with spinal cord injury. Forward motion is pretty much everything. If I had just stopped at my tracks, when I had my spinal cord injury, I'd still be living in a small town. I wouldn't have been able to progress, wouldn't have been able to go to college, move to Austin, start my career. And it's also a metaphor for, this chair, like I push it and we go. And that's led me to a very fun and fulfilling life. And it's something that'll carry me, from this day through the rest of my life. You got to keep moving forward. If you don't, nothing's going to happen.